Who I am. My name is Joe Kim. I'm the EVP of Engineering and also the Global CTO for Solarwinds. And the easiest thing to really equate my role in Solarwinds is if there's anything that is happening in technology, be it things that we develop or things that we even use internally, because the CIO reports to me as well. Someone in my organization is responsible for that. So. First of all, before I get started, welcome to Tech Field Day 18. 18. It's strange to say because it's actually 2019, but I think it's the right moniker. And so for those of you that were here kind of last year during the keynote, and they only give me a little short time for this, I can't cover everything about the Solarwinds vision and kind of strategy. But what I wanted to do was to provide a little bit of background on the business and then give you a little bit of context around some of the presentation material that you're going to be seeing throughout the day. Okay, sounds good? Thumbs up? Okay, cool. So if you recall last year, what I talked a little bit about was, what was happening kind of with digital transformation, the digitization of business, and what it was doing to a lot of the users that actually utilize our products to kind of help monitor and manage their environments, right? A lot of them, even if they had started in central IT, were starting to gravitate because of need more to maybe DevOps or SRE type of roles, managing applications and products that are making money for their businesses, or maybe they are getting recruited by MSP companies, or maybe they're starting an MSP company because they're seeing kind of a broader use and broader need across smaller businesses that need IT help. So there was a lot of these kind of movement stuff that I talked a little bit about last year. Now with that, what you might not know is some of the stats that you see on the screen, is that today, if you actually look at the broad portfolio of products that we have over now 50 products in our portfolio to be able to help solve issues and problems for IT professionals, no matter how large of an environment that you are managing, be it a small company or something at the enterprise size. We do manage and help 499 of the Fortune 500 companies. And it doesn't matter where you have in your specific infrastructure or application, where your environment is that you're managing. If it is on-premise, or if it's in the public cloud, or you got some hybrid environments that you have to manage, we have a tool set for you, okay? So kind of looking at that broad list of products, the 50 plus products, a lot of questions that I end up getting is like, what does it actually mean to be a Solarwinds product? And kind of in my opinion, it really comes down to two things in terms of what it means to be a Solarwinds product. One, it has to work. And it's kind of strange to say that, right? But if you think about enterprise software, enterprise products that are out there, a lot of times when you purchase that product for an environment, it doesn't work like right out of the box. A lot of times what you might end up having to do is to hire professional services, some outside help, to be brought in and actually implement that specific product to help get some value, and it could take 12, 18 months of PS work, something like that. We want to make sure that all of our products, if a customer is able to identify the specific problem, that they're very easily able to go to our site, find the product that's going to solve that issue, and then be able to get value from that product immediately. Okay, so that's one of the two things that one of our that our products need to be able to do. The second thing, from a kind of a promise perspective on what it means to be a Solarwinds product, is that we're going to be building specific use cases or functionality or product that is for and from your point of view, okay? So if you're a network administrator and you need to solve a server issue, the way that we're going to be putting that specific feature function for us to be able to help you is going to be from the perspective of a network administrator. If it's a system admin that's trying to solve an issue using something like Server and Application Monitor, it's going to be from a systems perspective, even if they're looking at a network issue that they're trying to solve. Okay? And we're able to do this because we have a large community, and in the large community, we're able to go very specific into each of the user base and be able to gather a lot of data, kind of their preferred experience in terms of how they would like to solve an issue, and gather, kind of all of the specific use cases to be able to make sure when we deploy a solution, we're not deploying a solution the way that we think that it should be solved. It's the way that our users want it to be solved, okay? And so that's kind of important for us as well. So if you look at even some of the releases that we had in 2018, one of the things that we released was something called Solarwinds Apm. Okay, kind of in the background, what Solarwinds Apm is really an integration, a kind of interoperable kind of use case that happens between one of our products, Server and Application Monitor, or SAM, and AppOptics, our SaaS-based APM solution. But the way that we thought about that integration, how we delivered that solution to our SAM user base, was that we wanted to make sure that it felt, as you were kind of purchasing both products and using to solve issues, that you're not leaving the SAM product and you're going into a separate product in AppOptics for you to have your APM needs met. Okay, it's for a lot of people that have purchased both of them, it was very difficult to tell, like if you're leaving one product for another product. We wanted to make sure that type of experience was very, very seamless. Okay, so kind of leading into that, a lot of sort of that promise, it's going to work, one, and we're going to build it from your point of view. If you really think about it, it becomes even more important when you think about integrations and interoperability, right? Because I don't want that to be broken, that promise to be broken, as soon as you buy that second product from us, right? A lot of people end up buying, 1, 2, 3, 4 products with kind of the promise of if you take 1 + 1, it's going to equal 3, right? And we don't want it to be where you have 1 + 1 = 3, but now as soon as you go to that kind of effect, in order for you to get it, break everything and say now you have to hire professional services and you got to wait 18 months, spend millions of dollars on an integration. We don't think that's the right way to go about it. So we think about these integrations very, very tightly in a way where if you want that 1 + 1 = 3 effect, be it you buy 1 product, 2 product, 3 product, 4 product from us, that you get that effect also out of the box. That's what we're going to be striving for. Okay. Now, the other thing, and I kind of touched upon it, and some of the other folks as well already, and the day just started, around kind of THWAC, our user community for SolarWinds. Again, I don't know if you're aware, but today, if you go to THWAC, we have over 150,000 people on THWAC. It's a very, very large community, which we interact with on a daily basis. It isn't just that they help each other. We have our products folks, our engineers also involved in the community helping them out. And it's a great way for us to be able to get together with them and really be able to get all the feedback, get all the specific use cases and problems that they're looking at, to be able to release products and feature functions that's going to hit the broadest of our community, not just do something for like the Fortune 50 or something like that. Use cases that's going to help the Fortune 50 for sure, but also those things that are going to help the shops of the 2 to 3 people, IT shops or MSP shops. Okay, so it's kind of an interesting set of agenda items if you think about it. We're going to be talking a lot about kind of like new devices that you have to manage. Chris O'Brien's going to come in here and probably talk a little bit about some of the SDN monitoring capabilities that we've included as part of our networking portfolio as of last year. We got, I know we're not going to talk about it here in this session, but we now have container monitoring within our SAM product. It's much more in-depth than it was before. And so a lot of these things that are kind of considered a little bit more forward-leaning, why we have them in the product and why we had decided to include them in 2018 and not in any other years, we were able to do them, but not at the depth that we do them today, is because we were able to prioritize when we were working with that large community. Right? It was starting to become a need in terms of what to do with some of these capabilities at the smallest of shops as well. So we made sure that we reprioritize, make sure that they're in the product, for us to be able to help customers. Again, Chris is going to talk a little bit about it. Not only just monitor a lot of the older kind of devices that you have, but the new devices that you're going to be introduced in your environment as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of color in terms of what it means to be a SolarWinds product. Hopefully gives you a little bit of context on some of the material that you're going to be seeing kind of throughout the day. So what I wanted to do was open it up a little bit of time. I think last year we kind of ran a bit over on my section, so they are being very tight on time, but I do want to leave a little bit of time for some questions at this point.
Okay. You mentioned earlier how you prioritize features.
Yep.
What are some of the features on the horizon that are, I guess, higher priority than others?
I think, I don't know if I can talk about specific features on when they would be released just because of things like RevRec. But a lot of those kind of features and functionality that are prioritized, a lot of them actually gets talked about in the THWAC community pretty openly. I mean, sometimes we put surveys out there on, hey, look, here are the type of things that we're seeing in the market. How important is it for you that you're able to monitor them? How easily can you monitor them already with the solutions that we have? So we kind of look at it from those two vectors. One of the things that I didn't mention that has become a priority, and I think kind of in the introduction we kind of joked about it a little bit as well, is around security. Okay, so if you look at all the sections kind of toward the end of the day, what we're going to be talking, Jim's going to be coming up here and talking about sort of Active Directory and how you might be hit with that in your products, but it is something serious that we're looking at in each of the product sets. It's, if I have a focus area for 2019, again, we're going to continue to release features and functions, but it's going to be, what can we do to help our users with more security-related stuff as well.
So to follow on from that a bit, over the past few years, Solarwinds has purchased quite a few companies.
Yes.
What's your general approach for how you'll build out the portfolio? So clearly there are some gaps in there that you'll want to fill in, hopefully, because that gives you somewhere to expand to.
Sure.
So is your attitude generally to go looking for stuff out on market that are good and then say, that will be a good fit for us, let's acquire that, bring it in and then build it together? Or do you have more of a bias to building it internally?
So I think, the way that we think about kind of, part of the M&A strategy in regards to product is, we want to be able to, just like any other kind of DevOps philosophy kind of, shop, right? We want to be able to provide the need that a customer has as safely and securely and kind of in the SolarWinds way it's going to work, and it doesn't require professional services and, all of those things, and get it to our customer hands as fast as possible. And so as part of that, we do look at M&A, right? So is it faster for us to build a product that is, the sort of the SolarWinds way internally, or is there a product that is sitting out there that can actually deliver on some of the value proposition that's from a perspective of that specific user base is going to work out of the box? And if we find one, then it is something that we do end up considering.
Right. So
if
you're a little startup and you happen to be doing some security things, SolarWindsify yourself so that you can get bought if that's what you want to do.
I mean, if they can, we would absolutely be, looking for opportunities like that.
Cool.
Right. But with that said, we do build products pretty quickly. So.
Yeah.